how I edit this kind of light and airy photo. I actually did a little something different where you can clearly see I pulled out the green to give kind of this more white cherry blossom look. But I'm going to show you how I edited this. Just really, really simple. I learned Lightroom from YouTube videos and I'm self-taught, so there's probably going to be a lot of tricks that I actually don't know, but what I do know I'll teach you, and hopefully it will give you a little bit of a jump start where you might feel like you're lacking in Lightroom. And of course, let me know if you know any shortcuts. I'm always willing to learn more. So this is just the before and after. We're actually going to completely start over, but to give you an idea of the location we had, this is kind of the location that we were. I had this beautiful pregnant lady with me. She was absolutely adorable. I wanted to take her home with me. And I also shoot really light and airy, so I thought this location might provide kind of a look we're going for. So let's go ahead and go here. We're going to just reset, and we're going to completely start from scratch. So this is what I started with. I like to start with a crop, to tell you the truth. So I like to your crop button is just over here. I'm really big on these lines and horizons, and I do like it to be a little bit straighter. But so I'll just kind of rotate a little bit, kind of pull the crop down in a little bit closer. You could do a million things if you wanted to just make her totally center or whatever you want to do. I don't lock my crop sensor over here because I like to have full control over what I want the space to look like. Okay, so we're just playing around with the crop right now. Really simple. By the way, I import all of my images through Photo Mechanic, and then I tag through there, and then I drop them and import them into Lightroom. It just sped up my culling by 10 times the amount easily. Very, very, very quick. Okay, so again, I might even crop this black out. I think I did that last time. Okay, I use presets. I haven't always used them. For the first couple months of my editing several years ago, I started using some and I wasn't very good at them, or maybe they weren't good, or maybe it was a bad match. Eventually last year though, I did switch over to Mastin presets, and I really, really like the look of them. They give me that really light and airy look I'm going for. I'm not a master with them as Kirk Mastin is, or Jeremy Cho, or Joe Thompson, but I definitely have seen a major improvement in the quality I'm looking for that matches my style and brand more. So I don't work for Mastin or anything. I just believe in their product. So that's something that you can look into if you want to. Tax write-off. You can start out by, before you even apply your preset, you can start it by adjusting your temperature if it needs to be adjusted, which is over here, your white balance, if you need to do that. And you can start adjusting your exposure. I feel like there's a pretty well exposed photo, so I might not really play with it yet. But I am going to go over here to where my presets are. Lightroom has these these presets in here. I'm not sure if you're using them. You don't need to be. But then if you've imported your own presets that you've purchased, you find them right here as well, plus your user presets, which I make my own as well. So you just go ahead and apply the first base. Don't get scared. I just usually, I have the Fuji pack, and I make a lot of adjustments through here. But first I just apply the base, then I go down through here and I pick my highlights. So you can have hard, highlight hard, or highlight soft. You can kind of see the difference. Shadow hard, shadow soft. Since I like to shoot really light and airy, I usually go with all soft in these situations. Now don't worry about this area, these lips. I'm going to change. I'm going to fix that. Also, something I really love to do, I like to shoot with this, Kirk has made this really easy lens correction on. I think that there's a little bit of distortion from our lenses that comes through, and you can just see that difference. Just kind of stretches out through here, makes it flat, and kind of gets rid of any, why can't I think of the word right now? My brain is really fried. I've literally been sitting at my desk editing for 12 hours today. So, see, you can kind of see. Anyways, I really like that. You can play around with the grain or not. Sometimes I add grain in and sometimes I don't, depending on the look I'm going for. Especially if you really want to recreate a film look, then absolutely. I usually do include it for my black and whites. Okay, so I'm done here. I've gotten my base here, and let's go over here and adjust the coloring. So obviously this green feels really neon to me, but I'm actually wanted to do, typically if I were to keep the green, and I might bump this down to around 70 down here, my saturation levels, and then I might bump the luminance, down more. It just really depends. But today I wanted to just pull and play and kind of get rid of the green all together and see really where that puts us. So bumping this yellow down to here, and then maybe pulling this yellow a little bit more. So we're getting almost that kind of white look. I really want to fix her lips. So it automatically, when I apply the preset, it just kind of does that. So I'm just going to go ahead and fix the purples and magentas here to bring them back to where we were. Okay. Again, just bringing them kind of back into this area. That looks really bright. Pull this down, and I'll probably play with that later once I get my coloring right. Okay, so I like to constantly go in and crop over and over again. That's one thing I do a lot. Now the color's looking pretty good. I might bump the yellow up just a little bit more, just to kind of see how that feels. Okay, I'm gonna clean up this area. It feels a little dirty to me, or it's distracting. So I'm going to go ahead, and up here you'll notice you have your crop, you have your brush, you have your eye corrector, you have the split toning for darkening, lightening, all that stuff. What is this? I never even use this. Your feathering and your brush. So I'm going to go ahead and use my healing and cloning brush. I like to keep it on heal. I'll give you an example. So cloning would be like an exact replica. You pick the spot you want to fix, and Lightroom usually chooses for you and says, oh, I think you want to do that. And it's exact clone. So let's go over her face. So see how, sharp the edges are. You can adjust the feathering to that, and you can play around with it over here if you, really want her creepy eyes up there. That's up to you. But I prefer to choose heal. Healing is what I do to help take out blemishes, bruising, anything that's not really permanent with my client. Oh, and if we don't want to keep this here, I just go ahead and right click on it, and I just delete it from there. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and, I'm going to stay on my healing brush here, and I want to just get rid of this spot. So I'm going to click on this. I like to see where Lightroom goes. That works fine for me, but just to keep it consistent on this side, I'll blend that right there. I think this feels a little distracting, so let's just see how I feel about hiding that, moving that here. That feels fine. I'm not a perfectionist when it comes to the editing so much as I am getting it right in camera. If you really went through and studied my images, overall you'll find a lot of small imperfections. I'm more of a storyteller and an overall picture person because I'm not the best editor in the world, but I'm good enough for me to create a quality product and polish my pictures to where I want them to be. Look, I'm having a really hard time down here. So I just kind of play around until I can get it right. Sometimes I have to completely erase it and start over and come back to it in case I get really mad and punch my computer screen. That would never happen. So then I don't like these green things up here. Maybe I'll get rid of them. That seems okay, but I'm going to move it down to here. You guys get the idea. Play around with it. I'm definitely going to get rid of this branch. I'm just not in the mood for it, so I'll just paint straight across here, see what Lightroom does with it. It's probably going to go right here. Yep, it went right there. That's fine. And maybe I'll get rid of this branch too. I'm not worried totally about lining everything up and making it all completely perfect. Again, I'm really, really relaxed about it, okay? Now, this beautiful woman is really fine the way she is. There's not much to be done for her face. She's absolutely stunning, but I might just go in and do a gentle, soft brush over her face. Also, it might be hard to see from here, but her eyes are slightly open. So I'm going to fix that. I'm actually going to zoom in here. Hopefully, there we go, it'll catch up. I'd like to see them totally close. So I'm going to go onto my brush over here. I'm going to click darken, and I'm going to use it like a little black paintbrush. And I'm just going to fill that gap in, okay? I just started doing this year. So who knows, in a year I might hate it, or you guys might currently hate it. So I'm filling that gap in. Sometimes Lightroom customizes it and thinks it knows what I want. It doesn't. And then I'm going to just go ahead and scroll down. As you can see like when I really lighten it versus like extreme darkening. So I'm just going to kind of go to about here. That feels beautiful. I'm just going to paint a little happy tree. Okay, so then I'm going to barely soften her skin. To do this, I'm going to go up to the effect and I'm going to scroll down to skin softening. Skin softening takes your clarity of your brush and drops all the way down to here. I start out with a full crazy all the way because I like to see where it goes. I would never keep her face this way, as you're about to see. When I first figured out this brush, I did it on my face, loved it, and posted it, and no one said a thing to me. It was awful. I looked very, very pretend. This is just, I just do it all the way so I can see where the lining goes. So I make sure that I get everywhere. And then I'm going to bump it a lot up. I don't want to change her face too much. I just was giving a soft polish to it because she, to me, just looks just stunning. So I might one more time go in and just a little gentle polish right there. And then again, bumping through there. Okay? Nothing too crazy. Well, maybe I'll just give a little polish on the eyes right here. We get little eye creases. Okay. She's fine. I don't own Photoshop. I think we talked about this before, but I don't own Photoshop because I don't want to be changing people into someone they're not. I love other photographers who have Photoshop and create beautiful art from it. There are times that I need it for sure. But overall, I can do a lot in Lightroom, and I like to keep my people looking how they really look. I don't want to change her into someone she's not. Okay. But I did want to manipulate this background into something that's not, just for fun. Okay, so you kind of see I'm just farting around now, doing weird things to it. I don't spend too much time in here, otherwise I will stay on an image forever. I'll get angry. I'll see these tiny imperfections and it will never be good enough. That looked like magenta-y and I could fix that over here, blah, blah, blah. Okay, this looks like it doesn't make sense up here, so from the way I edited it, so I might just throw this here. So now I'm spending too much time on it, but it's fine. Okay, I don't know where that went because, again, I've worked 12 hours today. That looks terrible. What just happened? Okay, I just have to move it down. Or delete it if I'm having a major problem. Again, it's like hair. If you're spending too much time on it, you're gonna probably ruin it. Like, what is this piece right now? I don't even know what I did there. What did I do? Aaron Nelson probably is watching this and knows, and he's like, "Oh, why did you do that?" Okay, just trying to fix it. That's good. Fine, lovely. Let's take a look at her before and after just by pushing the Y button on here. You can put them side by side. So, and you can even edit like this if you want to. She feels a little vibrant-y to me. Maybe I'll tone her down just a bit. I don't want to tone her down too much. I don't want her to be a zombie. I don't know, and this is your, again, we're talking about your white balance up here just to show you the directions that you could go with your white balance. I'm a little bit on the cooler side. I just want it to stay really kind of a classic coloring. Okay, that feels really good to me. You can push Y again, and you can push the backspace button and do this too. So I'm just doing that to make sure I haven't changed my client too much, or I'm trying to keep her lip color the same. That feels a little vibrant. I'm not sure maybe I can go tone it down over here. Where did I go wrong? Yeah, it's definitely over here if you watch the magenta. So I can pull that down. That feels a little more natural to me. Okay? So, anyways, that's the edit. Again, I could sit in here and fix this for days if I wanted to, but I'm not going to spend a large amount of time on that. I hope this helps you guys. If you guys like this, I can start doing maybe one a week and show you more edits and how I sync and things like that. Have a good night. right. You're welcome for the singing. I don't know how to turn this off. Real quick added edit. After watching the video, I realized how annoyed I am by this right here because it doesn't make any sense. So let's just, come in here and clean this mess up. All right. This is what happens when you work too many hours. Calm it down, people. Stop working so many hours. Okay, that's fine. I'm okay with that. And maybe I'll bring the crop down. I don't know. But I realized that was bugging me. Also, I did notice that my screen capture, it has brightened it a little more in the video and also toned the colors down a little bit more. So to see the real image, it's just in the Tiffany Burke Photography Advice and Encouragement group. That's where that image is, or maybe it's on my website. But hopefully that doesn't distract too much from what we were trying to do here. Okay, more singing, and I'm singing. And I'm singing. You're welcome. The singing is additional pleasure. Oh God, that word pleasure. Okay, bye.